What's happening, party people? Happy Thriving Thursday. This is your daily morning motivational message because we got to do it every day. Why? Because our minds and the thoughts that we cultivate, the goals and dreams that we aspire to are absolutely worth it. I submit to you that if you're willing to set aside a few minutes every day to measure your presentation, to clean yourself up, brushing your teeth, taking a shower or a bath, and just having some good personal care and cleanup time, then your mind deserves as much, if not more. So I appreciate that you all are taking time out of your days to really pour into yourselves, allowing these words and messages and stories to bring some uplift to the things that you aspire to. And we've been running this identity theme all week, and I'm vibing on it because it's such a critical part of everything. This is why for so many people, they will say they want to do something and they don't follow through. And they may have a want to do it. They may even have a desire. But if they haven't dealt with their core identity, they're never going to do it. And we see this more often than not, unfortunately. And I know you know people like this. It might even be you, people that have shared with you some things in the past, some specific goals or dreams. Maybe they created a vision board, they put some stuff up, and they never even came close. It's not that they can't come close. It's not that they can't actually achieve it. It's that they haven't done the work to create a new core identity. And in that tradition, in that vein, I want us to talk today about the tools of building ourselves an identity that can get us where we want to go. And I just want to talk about the tools of language for this morning. The language that we utilize to first and foremost talk to ourselves is everything. The one person that you're going to spend more time with than anybody else in the world is yourself, whose thoughts, whose words, whose patterns are going to be the biggest part of your life, your own. And you have to be a fantastic steward of the words and the language that you engage in and that you allow into your energetic space. So you have to take ownership of that and you have to be intentional with it, because it's in those dark times, those difficult moments, those opportunities that are disguised as obstacles. It's how we talk to ourselves. It's what we think. It's where we put our focus that's going to determine the ability to overcome that and also to turn it into an opportunity to become something more. So how are you talking to yourself? When the days are long and the skies are gray and the sun is nowhere to be found, I look for an opportunity to embrace that and lean into it. And I'm talking to myself to say, where is the space where I can grow? I'm going to go outside in the rain. I'm going to do some exercise. I'm going to go outside even though the sun is hiding from me today, and I'm going to be the sun. I'm going to be the sunshine in someone else's shade. I'm going to bring something to the table of value. I'm going to bring an energy that is missing from this particular space. When you're dealing with a difficult struggle, something that you're really wanting to overcome, it may be a ginormous project at work. It might be something in the area of the personal, your spiritual walk or your fitness walk or your health and what you're putting into your body walk. I'm going to make it my business to move with discipline. And I have to remind myself that nothing tastes as good as health feels. So I'm going to pass on the double scoop ice cream. And instead, I'm going to have a handful of walnuts and maybe a couple of cranberries and some blueberries or some strawberries. I'm going to discipline my emotional desire to eat. And I'm going to focus on my health desire to have a healthy, long life. So I'm going to put better foods in my body, right? So how are you talking to yourself in those difficult times? There have been many times when I am hosting an event, I'm putting on a meeting, and I don't get the numbers that I'm expecting. And I know that the conversation I'm having with myself in that moment is going to dictate the next meeting that I put on. How you think when you lose determines how long it's going to be before you win. How you think when you lose determines how long it's going to be before you win. And so I use it as an opportunity to hold the accountability mirror up and say, okay, what could I have done better to promote this meeting? What could I have done better to make more phone calls? What could I have done differently to have a better outcome in terms of who's showing up? And I know I can always, like when you retrace your steps, you can always find the parts where you're 100% responsible. It doesn't matter what's taking place. It doesn't matter if it's an event beyond your control that happens. You're able to find spots when you look back of where you can take 100% responsibility. And even in the midst of things that happen that are beyond our control, we have the opportunity to take 100% responsibility for how we respond. You see, it was Hudsacker. He said it's not the events that take place in our life, but our emotional reactions to them that dictate the speed of which we age and we decay. Because so many people have overreactions to events. They're over emotional. They allow themselves to get twisted up in knots over things they have no control over. And because we have this habit pattern, a lot of human beings, we like to indulge and marinate in our misery. We like to replay the negative in our life over and over and over again because it's easy and it's what's most readily available. Remember, life is a fight for territory. As soon as you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. And the way that you fight for that territory is the language that you engage in, the words that you use, your self-explanatory style. And as you're forging your identity, utilizing language and words that are moving you in that ever forward, upward progress direction. I am faced with tremendous setback and difficulties, and yet I rise. I am having to overcome significant obstacles, but I am made of much greater stuff. I have to figure a lot of stuff out, but everything is figure outable. Man didn't make me, so man can't break me. I am not in service to a small, wimpy, puny God. I live in the spirit of a great and good God. So I have the opportunity and I have the internal mechanism to solve these problems, to figure these things out. I'm just going to have to dig a little bit deeper. I'm just going to have to work a little bit harder. I'm just going to have to really press and persist, because persistence breaks resistance. See, just simple phrasing and languaging when you are in your most vulnerable states, when you feel the weakest, when you feel like you just can't take another step forward, is when it's most important. For who you are and how you show up on your worst days is going to determine the length and the quality of your best days. And if you allow yourself to build a portfolio of overcoming and being that warrior spirit that will not be dominated, that will not be put down. You may get knocked down, but you're not going to get put down. If you allow yourself to be forged in that process, the person that comes out on the other side is an identity that can serve you for the rest of your life. And I'm simply asking you to be intentional and to select the right words that form sentences and phrases that can keep you in a spirit of uplift, a spirit of service, a spirit of impact, a spirit of constant, never-ending improvement. The reason we call it 2% Nation is because we understand 98% of the population, they're just going to go along to get along. They're not going to aspire to much. They're going to succumb to their weaknesses and their fears and the low expectation of others. They're going to settle in this thing called life. And so we have an opportunity and a responsibility, even a duty and obligation to rise above that, because it's the 2% that are the drivers of what's happening in this world. And I submit to you that your goals and your dreams are worth all of that and then some. So as you're forging your identity, as you're taking account of that part of yourself that doesn't serve you, that doesn't move you forward, I really want you to take and identify and find the language. These are the tools for this morning's call. Find the right language, because language is the software of the mind. Words that are empowering, that make you strong, feel strong, that keep you focused, that keep you on the main thing, and keep you mentally tough. It's not going to be easy, okay? It will be some of the hardest things and hardest work that you do, but I promise you it will be worth it. If you got some value out of this, please like and subscribe, and go ahead and share this message with somebody else, because it's a blessing to be a blessing. We'll see you in the morning.